Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the latest thread, Creative Spark. And so let's get right into our inspiration that we used for this month's designs. And this one, I feel like, oh my gosh, there's a lot there, right? When I did mine, I couldn't even commit to one thing at first because there were so many things you could pull out of there. So let's see what everyone did.
So Sharon has messed with the alphabet.
Did.
I put them in the order that they're in the album.
Okay. So this one is mine. And it took me a while. Like Jody said, there's so much going on in this photo because first I saw circus tents, like in the second column, like that little center, and I wanted to do circus tents, but it didn't work simply enough for me. So then I went back and then I found that shape, which is from that second column up in the top, right there. Yes.
Yeah.
And then I just stitched it out on a grid and alternated each row, and that's how it turned out. And I like it.
Oh, I like it.
Very cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. It was very easy.
Do that even as an edge to edge. I mean,
Yes.
Well, and then
Yeah.
I wanted to start we try to keep this contained on a smaller piece of fabric, but I wanted to try it bigger and then like vary the sizes, like do maybe 1 6-inch and then 1 3-inch. And so you may see that in the future because it was fun.
It would look cute, like in a
that
little
is-
2-inch sashing or something. It'd be cute.
Right.
Being a border design, it would work well for that also, as long as you have enough space to do the alternating row.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
What
because
size
it's
grid did
really,
you use?
the 1-inch. It's
Okay.
small. Mhm.
yeah, because it's
So they're
even
about
like
2 inches
alternating almost.
Yeah.
What, Jody?
Even without the alternating rows, I think it could be great as just that one, even just a 2-inch border.
What I did it alternating only because then I didn't have to match up my points.
Your
And I
points.
I could be lazy.
Efficient.
Purposely
Efficient.
random
Yes.
is the best. That's mine, I think. That's terrible. Yeah, I kind of had to do the kind of rounded square look things, and I felt like they looked like they were on bands or something. So I just drew it, and yeah, I'll admit that's as far as it went. And then I'm just like, I'm just putting it on there. Let's just see what happens. Because I had no clue what I was going to do with the shapes. I wanted those shapes.
Mhm.
And so then I just started doing stuff. But I ended up kind of liking it. A little bit of it blended in too much with the background, and that I didn't like. But I like it with the little circles going around the outside.
Mhm. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I don't know. I actually would probably like that a lot better without the fill.
Mm-hmm.
Well, or if you had just echoed that horizontal
Mhm.
circular one just a little more, so there was
Yeah.
that difference between the background and that.
Well,
like
I think this is kind of the neatest thing to me about doing these is that like, after I do one, I really could probably put 3 more pieces of fabric on there
Mhm.
because I feel like until you actually stitch it, you don't see
What's happening. Yeah.
what's gonna happen. And then right away, you're like, oh man, I should have, whatever. And then you could just do that. And then even then, you might be like, oh, but it would have been cool if this was in there instead of that. And,
Mhm.
I think it's a really cool way to, I don't know, I guess, spark your creativity if you're,
So I was gonna say it's kind of how we got the name.
yeah.
Well, and the samples are small, right? So
Yeah.
like we're doing these on like little 10-inch square pieces, which for anybody at home who just wants to goof around with an idea and just see where it takes them, even if you don't like and end up liking what you've created, you can look at it and be like, okay, what would I do differently? And I do that all the time in every quilt that I do and say, anything that I do, I try to like improve, or what did I learn on this one so I can do it better or differently next time. So it's definitely valuable exercises.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's fun.
It is fun.
Oh, cool. It looks like a, what are they called? Those things, the rock things. What are they
Rock
called?
Oh,
sacks.
yeah. Cairn.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's mine, if I remember correctly. Again, that was a tricky one, because all you see is all I saw was those points, and the points are all different shapes. It's like, no, I'm gonna start with the oval shapes. And yeah, I do like things that are not
Oh, cool.
necessarily symmetrical. So, but then I was still able to add the points in the center. Now, I do have to say I cheated on that one because I was doing several samples at once, and I thought, you know what? I don't have to write template. I don't have to write shape. So I'm gonna do it in Creative Studio. And like I said, I cheated on that one. But, and then did use the echo in Creative Studio, and then filled in, hand guided to do the inside stuff.
But I like how that burst is, it comes up at a different angle. I love that.
Oh,
Yes.
So it was a combination of utilizing what I had access to. So for this one.
Yeah, I like it.
me too.
Yeah, those radiating lines really give it a depth. Like there's something way behind these that you can't see, and these are right in the foreground. They look really cool.
Mhm.
And I stitched around those ovals multiple times. Um, and I really liked how that separated, the background from those stacked ovals. That was a lot of fun to do, actually.
Yeah, it makes them really pop out.
This one is mine. I had a hard time with the oval, so I used the circle stencil and had some fun filling in all the little sections of it.
Yeah, I
Cool.
like that.
Like that.
And there we go.
Mm.
I added one more row because the stencil only has the first 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. And so I added one more to make it slightly larger to fit the 10-inch
Mhm.
square. And then instead of doing it as a circle, I thought, well, what if I do it a half and half?
Oh, yeah, that's neat because then you always visualize the rest of it is down there,
Right.
And I realized later if I offset them and I can nest them together, that would be a cool
Oh, real cool.
continuous. Yeah.
It would.
I really
Yeah.
like how the different designs complement one another.
Yeah, I like the contrast of the pointy and the round. And a
I'm
couple
still-
of them I did an extra echo line so it separates them a little bit better.
Mhm.
I'm still amazed how we all see different things from all the pictures. One day somebody has to make one that's the same, just that I can be proven right. It's gonna happen sooner or later. Cool.
Hey, this is mine, and I saw all the points, and it just reminded me kind of, those drums that on the side of drums, they have those lines and those ovals. So I used that as kind of my inspiration too, the ovals and the lines, and came up with a design that, kind of mimics those little drums, I guess.
That'd be a
So then
great
it
border.
looks, like
Oh,
that,
cool.
actually,
Yes.
when you stitch it out. And you
Oh,
see,
that's
I went
awesome.
again with the pattern, with a pattern on my fabric. It's not just a solid, but I used white thread, so it kind of stands out in the red, on the red fabric. So that's what I did. Just make a
Jeannie
drum.
being an overachiever over there saying, I'm going to show it on a print.
Well, you know, use what I have. So I had that. So that's what I used.
Yeah. That's really cool though. I like
Well, and
that.
it works good too because you can see it because
Mhm.
just because it's so linear, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And geometric designs are really good choices for busy fabric.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is mine. I definitely way oversimplified this because there was so much, like Karen said, there's just so much stuff in this picture. But after drawing about a zillion things, I decided just to go with those ovals, and then because some of them are kind of facing up and then some of them are sideways. So actually there's only one sideways in this picture on the left, but there's a blue oval that's sideways.
There's little capsules too.
Little capsules, yeah, there's little ones in between. So I thought it might kind of make like I wasn't thinking of like an overall edge to edge design. I was more thinking like a background, like if you were to put in the background behind a main motif or applique or something, just doing it small scale. Um, so I just marked out a 1-inch grid, and I had planned to put the little lines in between, and I started stitching and there was no room for lines.
Well, it looks very cool too.
But it
It's
reminds me
surprising
of
me.
Jody's circle pop idea, but it's just the each opposite, each next one is stretched.
It's like organized river rock. You know?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And you go around I had only meant to go around it once and then echo down to the next one. And then it was like, oh, your echo is off. So I was like, yeah, it looked a little bit messy. So I thought, let's just go around 3 or 4 times
Mhm.
and make that go away. So I thought that would be kind of cute. And I was actually going to overachieve and stitch out some sort of a motif in the front and then have this really small in the background. But yeah, this is as far as I got with it. And I thought that might be kind of fun to do it. And initially, when I was really close up to it, I thought they still looked circular. But then when I stood back, it's like, okay, you can actually see that they are ovals. So taking inspiration from
texture.
detailed pictures like this does not have to be complicated. We can just choose simple shapes.
Well, and this is a good, I think a lot of them are a good example of how, I mean, I think if you saw just that quilting and someone said, "Oh, how did you ever come up with that?" If they see the picture, I think they'd be like, "What?"
What?
Yeah.
No, because everyone sees something so different, I
Mhm.
don't know. I like, I love this process. How,
Yeah.
just to see.
It's the evolution of the process, right? Like starting with one thing and like how Jeannie has like several pictures and going, okay, this works, but this doesn't. And maybe you can take something from one of the drawings and add it to something else. And
Yeah.
Because I think if you're drawing it, you can in your mind see how you would apply it on an actual quilt.
mhm.
And so, we all came up, with different concepts based on our thought process. And this definitely would look great because behind an applique, because it's not your normal fill, but it's still nondescript, but it adds a lot of movement because of you changing direction. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if I liked your drawing better because I really liked your drawing, because it reminded me of like a beaded embroidery.
Mhm.
That's what I saw when you showed that drawing. So,
Or like beaded curtains.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like to eat a lot of candy.
I'm thinking
And
candy necklace.
I think this looks like
Jelly
jelly bean
Ah,
kebabs.
Okay. So,
remember those
but
little
they're
candy
both,
necklaces that used to bite them off? That's what it reminded me of at first. But yeah, let's do it
they
with jelly
both
beans.
work. Yeah, I think they both work.
Very cool.
Oh, this is the
Okay.
next one.
So I hope you guys enjoyed our interpretation of this month's inspiration. And this is next month's inspiration picture. So this one's a little more geometric. Does that mean that you have to do something geometric? Not necessarily, right? So we hope that if you guys have done any of these along with us, we'd love to see them. So we wish that you would share those with us. And we look forward to seeing what we, along with you, will do on this next one. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.